So today I'm going to talk about how to track and improve your online visibility for your business. Because every business has a website, but there are a lot of invisible websites out there. Every business feels that it could be more visible. And people go to Google, people go to the search engines to find what they want, what they need, to find the products and the services they need. They don't go to the yellow pages, they don't go to directories, they go to the search engines. So you want to be visible in search engines, but how do you get that visibility? You could pay a lot of money, but what I'm talking about today is how to create visibility organically. This is free visibility. If you pay for the visibility, that visibility is going to go away as soon as you stop paying. It's like turning on a tap and then you stop paying and it turns off. Organic visibility, on the other hand, is visibility that's going to stay with you. It's going to stay on the internet, but how do you achieve it as a business? Now, your online presence is kind of like your body weight. And so when I think of my body weight, now and then, I'm enjoying eating, I'm enjoying relaxing, and pretty soon I get a little concerned. Well, things are not fitting the way they used to fit. And so I decide at some point I'm going to measure my body weight. So I get on a scale. And at first I experience horror because I find that I've really let things go. And after the horror dies away, then I begin to think, okay, now I at least have a baseline measurement. And so I'll go back to the scale the next day. I'll make some tweaks in my eating and my exercise. And at some point, it really gets interesting and can actually get fun because I can find that I make some changes and it's going to change what I see on the scale. But the whole thing happened because I went to that scale and I began to measure myself. And until I made those measurements, created the baseline, I didn't really know how to tweak things. Now, our business online visibility is similar. We have websites as business owners, and now and then we do certain things. Maybe I'm going to write an article. Maybe I'm going to post on Facebook. And maybe I'll redo my website. So we're throwing things out there. We're throwing activities out there, but we're not visible, or we don't know how visible we are. I mean, how many people here know exactly how visible your website is? Okay, Chris knows. So
Chris
so that's that's 25% of the people. So it's important to be able to measure that visibility. So we're going to talk about that. What is the scale that you can stand on as a business website in order to measure your baseline, begin to track visibility? And what are you tracking? How do you know even what to track? So we're going to take a look at that. Measurement and adjustment is the key, though, both with your weight and your health and with your online visibility. So let's take a look at, how are you going to get on the scale, record your baseline, make improvements, and track progress for your online visibility. Well, first of all, where's the scale? I know where the bathroom scale is, but where's the scale for my website? There is a scale. Where's the scale for my Facebook business page? There is a scale. LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, all of them have a scale. And that scale is called analytics. Everywhere your presence is on the internet, there is a really cool way to measure that presence and the effectiveness of it through the analytics that's provided. And there's some certain things that you can measure. We're going to look at those things that you can measure and influence. Okay, so for your business website, one of the primary tools is Google Analytics. And when you're looking at Google Analytics, there are certain things that you need to be aware of. And these are things that you can measure. How many users are, how many people are going to your website, the traffic on your website, the sessions, how long do people stay on your website, the bounce rate, how many people go to your website and then leave, and the session duration is the length. But, it's important to know how many people are on your website, because then you can influence that. These are people that find your website through the keywords that you put on your website. They're your audience. They're your market audience who are putting into the website your business attorney and Las Vegas business attorney. And so they're finding your website. But, let's take a look at session duration. How you influence the number of users that find your website through keywords, and you can influence the number of users that find your website through valuable content and changing that content on a regular basis. Session duration is important. How could you influence how long a person stays on your website? Any ideas? Okay, Chris?
Making sure that you're using both writing, posts and articles, and also doing videos, because some people are much better at watching videos, and there are other people like me who are better at reading.
Okay. So if you've got valuable content on your website, the person goes to your website, they're watching a video. They're going to stay on there longer to see the video, provided that the video gives them information that they're looking for. If there are articles, they're going to stay on the website longer. If you have a navigation that it's easy for them to find information, they're going to stay on the website longer because they're going to be surfing around and finding stuff, and they're not going to be frustrated. So there are ways, and then as you make these changes on your website, you go to Google Analytics and you find that, you see there's these little green arrows. And these arrows are either going up or down. And this is the last 90 days of a website that I'm measuring here. And you can see that the number of users has gone up in the last 90 days. The sessions has gone up. The bounce rate has gone down. That's really good. And the session duration has gone up. So, this website is doing very well at this point, and you want to increase it more and more. But see, now you got the scale. You know what you're measuring. Okay, let's take a look at some other things. You can look at the traffic channel. How did people come to your website? Some came through organic search, and so that's this large blue area. Some came direct, right to your website. Some came through a referral, which means a link from another website. Some came through social media. And so let's say you put a whole lot of effort into social media. You want to see this light blue bar going up. If you don't see it going up, then you know you need to do something a little different. But see, you got the scale. You can measure this. Okay? And then you can find out page by page. Here's the home page. 221 page views, the about page. So you can see the pages that people are going to. And then you ask yourself, why are so many people going to this particular page and not that page? And you begin to see, well, maybe there's a video on the page. Maybe there are keywords on the page that are attracting people. So you think, okay, I'm going to make those things happen on the other pages that aren't getting so many visitors. I'm going to do more of what's working, less of what's not working. So see, you got the scale. You can measure these things. And then when do users visit? And the time of day. Where are they coming from? Sessions by country. And then the device. That's kind of important. You can check, are they coming from a desktop, a mobile device, or a tablet? And why is that important to know? It's because if your website is not mobile friendly, you may find this number is down. You get your website mobile friendly, this number goes up, and then all the numbers go up. So see how you're influencing your visibility. And then, how well do you retain users? And so this is where Google's actually determining, do users come back? Do you have returning users? Are all the users just coming to your website once and leaving forever? You want to have people returning to your website. It's like any community, any business, your growth depends on those relationships and loyalty and people that are returning. And you can measure this through analytics. So this is just a really quick overview. So now let's take a look at Facebook. You got a Facebook business page. And there's a Facebook analytics. It's called Facebook Insights. So if you log into your business page, you'll see across the top menu, you'll see a little word that says Insights. You click on Insights, and then you're going to see the actions on a page. And you can see we got a little work to do on this one. You're going to see your page views. How many people went to your Facebook page? How many likes do you have? What's your reach, the number of people that are reached? The post engagements. These are people who did something with your post. They clicked on it, and they put a link on your post, and you'll find that that you get more engagement. Maybe have a contest. Engage your audience, because social media is all about building relationships. It's about engagement. It's not just about putting information out there, but it's about engaging an audience, building relationships, creating loyalty. It's like a community. And so this is a way you can measure how you're doing. Videos. Videos are always so important, not only on your website. You can do Facebook Live videos, broadcasts. You can put videos up on your posts. You can have a video post. And I find that a static image post is great. A text post is not quite so good, but image plus text works really well. Video plus text is even better. It's engaging. People are scrolling. You're scrolling through Facebook and you see something moving. It's going to cause you to stop there a little longer. So, Facebook. Okay. And then, we've got Facebook Insights. Your 5 most recent posts. You're going to, and there's only 3 showing here, but your most recent posts, how did they do? The type of post. Here's a video. Here's an image. And, what was the reach? How many people did these posts reach? What was the engagement? Who clicked on it? And then, of course, Facebook is in business to make money, and so they're going to want you to boost posts. Well, you don't necessarily need to do that, but now and then it might not be a bad idea. And for something like $35, you can boost your post, and Facebook will send it out to more people, and it could be a contact generation vehicle. You don't have to, but that's an option. And then pages to watch. Now, I blocked these out because they're particular businesses, but what you can do is you can identify competitors in your market space And you can say, okay, here we've identified, 4 competitors, and here's us, and then here is someone that's, these 4 are getting more views, 7,000 views compared to our 1.5 thousand views. 7,000, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, and then here's one that's getting less views. But it's kind of interesting. You can set a goal. Hey, here are my main competitors. I want to unseat some of these guys that are getting more views than me. And so it's kind of like, once again, being on the bathroom scale, working on your body weight, and you get excited because you see something happening. Well, you can do the same thing with the social media, and you can make some progress. Okay, LinkedIn business page. There's LinkedIn analytics, and you can see various things, likes, comments, shares, followers, how many new followers in the last 30 days. Now, with social media, if you want to, it's kind of like a giver's gain type thing. Social media, if you want people to engage with you, you need to engage with them, because it's a social thing. It's not just like, oh, I have the most popular Facebook page and I'm putting out all this great content. People don't really care. What they care about is maybe you went to their page, you liked their page, you made a comment on one of their posts, you shared one of their posts, you followed them. And the more you do those things on social media, on all the social media, just take a few minutes a day. Scroll through, like some other people's social media, follow some other people, send out a connection request, and believe me, you're going to find your numbers are going up. Social media is about engagement. Yes?
One of the things I can tell all of you is it is better to do 30 minutes of social media every day than doing all of it in an hour, one day, in each review.
Absolutely.
It is much, much, much stronger to do social media every day for less time.
Yeah, and Christopher, I'm glad you mentioned that, because every activity on the internet thrives on consistency. And if you're consistently doing something on the internet, whether it's social media, your website, change the front page of your website. That's really valuable. If you just make a change every week on the front page of your website, your visibility is going to go up. So yeah, be consistent. Okay, so LinkedIn. It has an analytics. Twitter has an analytics. How many tweets you've made, how many tweet impressions. This means people that viewed your tweet. How many profile visits, how many people went to your Twitter page. How many mentions. Here we see this number has gone down. Well, once again, if you mention other people, they will mention you. So it's an engagement thing. And as you're engaging with people, you're going to have people communicating with you. I've received internet jobs through social media where I'm talking on Messenger and people are asking questions, and pretty soon they're saying, hey, can you help me with my website? Can you help me with my marketing? And it'd be the same in every profession that's here, is that you begin to have these conversations, and these conversations turn into work opportunities, jobs, new clients, and so then you can see the followers also. And so Twitter has its analytics. YouTube has some cool analytics. Watch time. How long do people watch your videos? The average view duration. The number of views of your videos, and then you've got likes and dislikes. That's an interesting one. Shares, videos, and playlists, and there's so many things that you can do with YouTube videos that check the analytics, get on the scale, see how you're doing, and then look at the options of what you can do. On the left column, there are, all of these analytics present different options of things you can do to tweak and improve your presence. It's all right here. The reason that it's not happening so much is that people just don't take the time. They don't know where to start. That's one thing. But another thing is they don't take the time. If you take the time on a regular basis, it doesn't have to be, giving your whole life to social media and to the analytics, because you don't want to, obsess over it and ruin your home life and your business because you're sitting there on social media all the time. But on the other hand, if you just say 15 minutes a day, if you just take 15 minutes a day, you will see a dramatic increase over time in your visibility, and you're going to find new job opportunities, new clients, more people engaged, and in a way you can achieve a kind of celebrity status in your profession over the internet. So the key is right here. We've got all the tools that we need. Pinterest even has an analytics. Average daily impressions. That means that people, saw your page, and then views, and average monthly views, average monthly average monthly viewers, and then average monthly engagement, which means somebody clicked, somebody did something. So Pinterest even has its analytics. So everything that we need is right there on the internet. We're looking at the end of the year. We're at near the end of November, and we're going to be the end of December soon, end of 2017, moving into 2018. What a great thing to set a goal to increase your online presence. You got everything you need. So questions I'd leave you with. Do you know how visible your online presence is at this moment? And I would say, some would say 0, some would say I don't know, and some would say they know. Well, what's your answer to this? Is it becoming more visible, or are you sinking in visibility? Your internet presence is kind of like a block of ice. As soon as you walk away from it and leave it, you leave your Facebook page, you leave your website, you don't do anything to it, it's melting. And regular activities can keep that block of ice. Maybe you grow it into a glacier. When was the last time you measured the visibility of your online business presence? So that's a good question. This week, stand on the scale. Find each of the analytics. Just find the analytics. Don't necessarily do anything. It's like the first time I stand on the scale, if I haven't been there for a while, I just stand there, I look at it, and then I run away. But I come back eventually after the shock wears off, and I look at it again, and I think, okay, maybe I can do something, make a change. So at least go to the analytics this week. And then ask yourself, is your presence increasing or decreasing? All the analytics have little arrows saying this is going up, this is going down. You can measure it by last week, the last month, 90 days. You can measure it by as much as a year. And it's kind of interesting to see how that goes. Okay, make a goal to check in weekly at least. And then ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do to increase my online presence between now and next week? Just one thing. Maybe you do something on Facebook this week. Maybe you do something to your website this week. Just do one thing. If you do that throughout the year, you have 52 things that you wouldn't have done otherwise, and you'll make a difference. And finally, at what level would you like your business online visibility to be in the various media by the end of 2018? by the end of the next year. That's very important. Set a goal. You got on the scale, just like you do with your body weight. You set a goal, say, I want to be here, and then begin moving gradually to your goal. And you will see your online presence increase. Okay, questions?
I have two things to say.
Yes?
First one is what SEO means is search engine optimization.
Very good. Thank you.
What it means.
Search engine optimization.
I don't know.
I threw out that term, and thank you for
Oh,
defining it.
you didn't? You did? You
Yeah.
did? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe there's a reason for that, but.
Yeah.
Second thing that I would say is if you're just getting starting in social media and also on your website, if you have the ability in your website for comments, start with asking your friends and your family to make comments, both in your social media and on your website, just to get you started. And then that will help you to get more natural people to comment that you may not know. That's what you really want in the end. But it really helps to have friends and family to start with just commenting on something.
That's great. And thanks for mentioning that, because I didn't even mention reviews. But that's a good way to get started. Ask a few people to review, because when you go to a website, you see reviews, you see comments, you know that people are there. You know, there's somebody home, somebody engaged, and it causes you to want to stay there longer, because you feel like, hey, I'm in a popular room. I'm in a room that other people appreciate. So yeah, definitely ask people for reviews, for comments, get a start. David.
I had a question, because I haven't seen those analytics pages you're talking about. Are those accessible if I just play around with the site long enough? I'll find them. Do I need some kind of premium membership? And I know that like LinkedIn has a premium membership, and I don't know what's involved with that. Are those analytics available to every user of those sites without upgrading to some type of business premium membership?
Everything I showed you is from a website that has no premium paid memberships. So everything that I showed you is available. For Google Analytics, well, I'd say for all the analytics, go to Google and just put in the search engine, put Google Analytics, put Pinterest Analytics, put Facebook Analytics, and you'll get directions on how to access them. I know for Google Analytics, you go to analytics.google.com, you set up an account, and it's a free account. Once you've set that account up, then you get to see every screen that I just showed you. You put your website into it. They'll want you to put a little tracking code on your website so Google Analytics can track it. And I've helped a lot of people get that tracking code onto their website. But so you set up your Google Analytics account, they'll give you the tracking code, you put it onto your website, and then it starts tracking, and you get to see the figures. You're not going to see any changes in the very beginning because it doesn't have enough information. It's got to gather the information, but 30 days on down the line, you're going to start getting some really valuable information. You can see trends, but all this is free. Yes, and you can pay for a higher level, but start out with the free level. Take it as far as you can take it, and then you'll know whether to go to the next level or not. Chris.
One of the things that I want all three of you to know is that if you are doing really well in Google, you are also doing better in Yahoo and Bing. So it's not just like if
Absolutely.
So that it's not just Google.
Yeah, and that's great. When you're doing something in all the analytics and you're looking at those analytics, you make a change on Facebook and you figure out, hey, I put this video up and it's working well. Then you decide, hey, I'm going to do this on my website. I'm going to put something up on YouTube. I'm going to do a video on Twitter. You'll find that the tips that you employ one place in the internet are going to, you can do elsewhere too. So that's very good, and your visibility is going to increase accordingly. So okay, well, all I can say is you're in for an exciting next 12 months if you begin to get on that scale, measure your online visibility, and begin making tweaks.